Nursing school is a wild ride, but that doesn't mean you have to run and hide. When the going gets tough, don't leave your stress undiagnosed. You gotta call the nursing student coach. Real life tips from a registered nurse. In school and out, she's seen the worst. Now without further ado, yeah, here is your host. It's the Nursing Student Coach.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Nursing Student Coach podcast. My name is Nurse Lauren, and this is the podcast for aspiring nurses who want to establish the habits to create success in nursing school. So if you are in nursing school, about to start nursing school, or thinking about going to nursing school, then you are in the right place. It is my personal mission to help put more great nurses into the world, and I would love to do it with your help. So if you like the podcast, I invite you to please give us a review, subscribe, and share it with a fellow aspiring nurse who you know and love. Today, I want to talk about the NCLEX, and I'm definitely going to talk about the NCLEX a lot because it's a running theme in nursing school. You're hearing about it all the time. Maybe you have some anxieties about it. Um, your professors, I'm sure, talk about it all the time. And the really good professors are doing practice questions with you in your classes to prepare for the NCLEX. I passed my NCLEX, and when I passed, first of all, it's the best feeling ever. It's the best feeling in the world. But I had an epiphany when I saw that word passed. And the epiphany that I had was, wow, I really was prepared for this exam, because there is so much unnecessary anxiety and stress that comes along with it, and you can't avoid it. I mean, it really is the most important exam of your life because everything just kind of comes down to this one test. But the pressure that you put on yourself, it was a lot. And I didn't even really expect that kind of pressure. I mean, nursing school was very daunting and full of pressure, but then nursing school ends and you're not done. You've got this big test where everything just kind of, comes down to this one day. But here's what I realized, because I had so much self-doubt. I really did, and I did really well in nursing school, and there was this pressure that I felt and this self-doubt of, okay, well, the other shoe's going to drop sometime, like I did really well in nursing school, but this exam is, whew, like it's going to be hard. And what if I don't do well? What if I fail and I have to take it again? And there was just so much self-doubt until I saw the word passed, and I said, "Oh, okay. I do know what I'm talking about. I do know what I'm doing." And I wish I had a bit more of that when I walked in, when I was studying, all of those things. Here's the biggest takeaway from that is, I think the best way to do well on the NCLEX, the best way to pass your NCLEX, is to do well in nursing school. That's it. If you practice the 7 habits, if you are consistent, if you're consistent in nursing school and you are just pouring yourself into it, if you have passion for this and you really want to be a nurse and you are putting everything that you have, living and breathing the material every day, and you are just putting your all into it, and you're doing well in nursing school, not just passing, but doing well, you are going to be great. This exam is not meant to weed out people like you who are working hard and who know their stuff. And you're not going to know everything. You are definitely not going to know everything. There were questions that I just did not know, and I was prepared for that, because this exam, they try to find out what you don't know. And if you're getting hard questions, it means you're doing well, which is such a mind mess up. Don't want to swear on the show. It's such a mind trip because you're getting these hard questions and you're thinking, am I stupid or am I doing well? Because I've heard that getting hard questions is a good thing. But anyway, in nursing school, I heard people say all the time, I'll worry about the NCLEX when I have to. I'll worry about the NCLEX when I graduate. And I'll just study for it then. I'm not even thinking about the NCLEX now. It's just this thing that's way off in the future. And it's true, it's far off in the future. But studying for the NCLEX does not start the day you graduate. Studying for the NCLEX starts the day you start nursing school because you're going to have questions from all over the place in nursing school. And you can't just think, oh, I'll just worry about it then. No, you have to think, well, I'm studying for it now. And that's not to make you nervous. That's just a fact. You're preparing for the NCLEX all the time right now. Every time you take an exam, you are preparing for the NCLEX. It's just how it is. And so I talked in the first episode about consistency and doing your daily 10 practice questions. I promise you, if you do your daily 10 practice questions every day in nursing school and you're putting in the time, you're going to be fine. And that's not to say that you don't have to study. I'll tell you what I did briefly to prepare for the NCLEX. I took 4 weeks to study. And during those 4 weeks, I did anywhere from like minimum of 4 hours a day. Sometimes I did a full 8-hour day with breaks. Of course, you got to have your popcorn breaks. You got to have your coffee breaks, your yoga breaks, whatever you do to, rejuvenate yourself. And I'd say I split up the time, half the time between actually studying, like reviewing all of my notes from nursing school, reviewing all my body systems, reviewing all the drugs in pharm, just studying. And the other half I did doing practice questions. And I did those simulated exams to see how I was doing. The thing is, it really doesn't matter for your practice questions. I don't think it matters what resource you use. There are a lot of them out there. I know some people use UWorld and they like it. I didn't use UWorld. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just didn't use it, but some people love that. I used Simple Nursing. They have an NCLEX program and I did all of their practice questions. They have about 3,000 of them. And I did Saunders. They have an online, I bought the book and then they have, an online thing that goes with it. I also did the Mark Klimek review course, which I highly recommend. Mark Klimek is absolutely amazing. I did his live in-person course and listened to every YouTube video that he had. And they have a free podcast called Klimek Reviews where they have NCLEX prep videos that are really, really, really great. So I did that. And then the day of my NCLEX, it's quite an experience. I'll say that. I got there early, went in. I thought I was going to take a break every 10 questions. That was my plan. But I started to really worry about time. I did take a break. I got through the first 10 questions and I took a break. Then I came back and before I knew it, 2.5 hours had gone by and I was on question 40. So I said, okay, if I get more than 85 questions and 85 is the minimum, I may run out of time. And you have 5 hours to take the NCLEX. And I never take a long time to take exams. I'm never the first one done, but I'm usually somewhere in the middle. And all in all, it took me 4 hours to take the NCLEX. But around 2.5 hours, I was halfway through and I was only on question 40. So I did start going a little bit faster, not rushing. I still read every single question twice and made 100% sure I wanted to answer the way that I did. And then eventually my exam did shut off at 85 questions, which is the minimum number of questions. And statistically, that's a good sign. If your exam cuts off, it's anywhere from 85 questions to, I believe it's 145 questions. Might be 135. I think it's 145 now that it's the next gen. It's a different version of the NCLEX now. It shut off at 85, and I said, okay, this is either really good or really bad. But then you have to wait. You have to wait 48 hours. And it's a computerized test, and they know if you passed or not. Why can't you just know? That waiting was the worst. It was the worst. And you talk yourself in and out of how you did about 10,000 times. I had convinced myself that I failed, because you will feel, not everybody felt like this, but the vast majority walk out of the NCLEX feeling like they failed, because it is such a weird exam. It was strange. I mean, of course, there were questions that I knew. There were definitely questions that I knew. And when it comes to next gen, I feel like next gen is a gift. I really think next gen makes things easier, because all of the case studies that you get are very straightforward. They are case studies, and you just have to answer questions about things happening to your patient, next steps, how do you think critically? And it may sound intimidating, but it's really not. If you understand what's happening to that patient, you can answer the questions. Plus, you get partial credit. If you get, half of the answers correct, great. And it's also +1, -1, meaning if you select a box and it's right, then you get +1. But if you select a box and it's wrong, it's -1. So you want to only put an answer if you are 100% sure that it's right, because if it's wrong, you could lose a point. So yeah, I found out that I passed. And like I said, it was the best feeling. The waiting is terrible, and the mind games are terrible. People that you love and who know you and support you are going to say things to you like, of course you passed. You did great. And you're not going to believe them, because you're going to be visited by the self-doubt monster, or at least I was. If you walk out feeling confident, bless you. That's amazing. How do I be like you? Because I'm just telling you, I was so anxious for those 48 hours until you see the one word passed. And I fell to the floor, not literally. I kind of went, and I just cried, and everything kind of just came together. And I said, oh, wow. Okay. Lauren, you actually, you were prepared for this. You knew what you were doing. And so if I can share any words of wisdom from that crazy tale of my NCLEX story, it's really, if you've put in the work, believe in yourself, because you have got this. You can totally do this. And if you're at the beginning of your nursing school journey or somewhere in the middle, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep going, and you are going to be just fine. The NCLEX, it's nerve-wracking, but we all have to do it. We all went through it. Every single nurse out there has been through it. And here's the good news. You only have to do it once. Can you imagine if you had to take that thing every year? Woo! But it's over for me, and I survived. You can too. And you're going to be great. It's going to be fine. Just prepare, put in the work, and be consistent. That's it. So I thank you so much for watching. And it is my mission to help put more great nurses into the world. So thank you for helping me to do that. Please share this with somebody that you know and you love. I'm grateful for you, and I will see you the next time. Have a great day.
Thanks for tuning in to the Nursing Student Coach Podcast.